Microphone check 1 2. What is this? Tap in, tap in, tap in. It is Nightcap Knowledge. Tonight we will be talking understanding American democracy. Maybe we could have put the air quote or quotation marks around American. It could have been around understanding, could have been around democracy as we have it right here in front of you. Share this with somebody right now. It is Nightcap Knowledge, episode 202. Shout out to DC. We'll be there soon. CBC ALC. We will be doing a number of activities with a number of different people, but we'll definitely be on the floor for Congressional Black Caucus, American Legislative, our annual American Legislative. I'm about to go ALEC on y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nightcap Knowledge. Let's get ready to get it in. Tuesday night, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. George, Chuck, Mr. Mac. Tonight's conversation, understanding American democracy. Let's get it in. Some more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Nightcap Knowledge. Mr. Mac, what's up?
Man, nothing but bills.
Yeah, the bills are definitely doing what bills do.
up. Hey, man, you know.
Not that bill. We're talking about the
not that bill. Not that bill, but the other bills. And matter of fact, some of those bills that are the cause of our bills going up. You know, that's a whole other conversation.
Come on with it. I guess we'll get there at some point tonight.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome everybody to the show. This show is rated Black and Uncensored, real talk, real issues, real solutions, and we're here to tell it like a TI is. DJ George Chuck, what is the deal, Pickle?
Well, look, brother, everything's good on my end. I cannot complain. We just got home from flag football practice. Both of the boys are playing this year. They are excited about it. They've been making their preparations. They've been doing, some foot work drills. They chopping the ladder. So it's a fun evening for us on Tuesdays as we rush from deep in the Gulfport all the way back up to the woods where we live.
When you were saying football, flag football practice, like Chuck, you get back out there, man. You get back out there doing flag football. That's what you. I guess that's a no. I guess there's a no for Chuck at flag football. Hey, big shout out to Tougaloo and the old flag football team.
Yeah, that's for you.
Yeah, big shout out to Tougaloo, old flag football team. They went hard.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. Now we give you the flag football shout out. Shout out to all the brothers that traveled with us to Pensacola to compete all those years in the I want to say that might have been a national flag football tournament
Yeah.
at the University of West Florida. So yeah,
I,
we had a
I
great
guess
time.
some folks don't know that Tougaloo had a lot of uh, athletes, like folks that came from their high school, or even some folks that transferred in from junior college or either another college, right?
Yeah,
Like, so it wasn't just like people that didn't have any type of athleticism besides basketball. 'Cause people knew we had a basketball team, but like we had folks, national powerlifters, like your line brother, right? We
shout
had
out to
folks
Tail
that are up
Dog.
there, AC, Madison Central.
Yeah,
You know, you had folks there, and they just, matter of fact, big Tyrone Harris. You know, his
yeah,
mother didn't want him to play football no more because she didn't want him to get hurt. Now, mind you, his brother was 6'6" and 400 pounds. That was all I got to say. And played keyboard and sang. That's what he did.
and there it is.
Yes. So Chuck,
What's up,
we
man?
talk we talk about our mental health minute, and again, there's so many different things out there right now. Um, as people watch the election, if people watch so many things that happen in our community,
Yeah,
and go back again to those, one of those favorite ones is faith, faith and fear, right? So so you got to have faith over fear, knowing that, and your faith can be your confidence, right? They go hand in hand because things are scary, right? Making changes. Some people are looking at leaving their security of a full time 8 to 5 and starting and invested in full time into their business. Some people looking at going back to school. Some people looking at leaving, in going to another position or another state. So just understand your confidence over fear. So you got to have that faith in you and faith in your deity, and have a plan, and believe in it, and don't let naysayers or negativity or negative energy or things that they should deter you. You got to meet it half. You got to meet it right there. You got to meet it. And another thing we always say, faith and fear can't live in the same house. So you got to make a plan, have faith in yourself, have faith in your deity, and work it. Sometimes you get knocked back, sometimes you get pushed back, sometimes you get delayed. But delayed don't mean you're denied. So you got to keep moving forward, keep pushing. As Chuck was talking about flag football, keep your feet moving,
gotta
right?
gotta
If
keep
you was
chopping
a
your feet, man.
lineman, keep your feet moving. So always keep your feet moving, and always know that confidence over fear. What is the groove, Chuck? As I
Well,
pour
man,
my liquor.
I would tell you that the groove is this. You got the Glenn Levitt, is that the 15? Is that the 15? I guess so. Yep, looks to be the 15. I would like to take this and of course we're gonna do it again next week, but we're gonna celebrate this weekend because if I'm not mistaken, Labor Day weekend is this weekend. Um and with Labor Day weekend being this weekend, this would be the 10th anniversary of my beautiful wife and I entering into wedded bliss, matrimony, marriage, eyes yours, use mine, type of situation. So with that being said, the groove is, oh my bad, bro. Cheers to us. Shout out to Shallon. She's in that room back over there. She is probably on her phone. I don't know if she's watching right now or not, but baby, I love you. The song that and look, I'll be honest, she asked me, she was like, what was our first dance, at the wedding? And first dances are important. And of course, in true Chuck fashion, I did not delete any of my emails that I sent to DJ Shane O'Mac. So I went back and found the playlist for uh our our whole first part of the wedding reception, right? So first dance, our entrance song that we walked into, our first dance, the cake cutting song, garter toss, bouquet toss, well, garter removal. Let me be very clear. I did remove the garter. And I me being a DJ and also a preacher's kid, that was a drummer growing up in church, I definitely um could see all of those influences in the particular songs that I selected for our wedding day. The one that it's it's kind of very very perfect timing, divinely aligned. Like Tyrese is in the news a lot right now, right? I don't know if y'all saw Tyrese, like he cosplayed Marvin Gaye, and he was singing the national anthem in the Marvin Gaye style of singing. Now, some people are saying that Tyrese is dealing with some mental health issues. I think that that Tyrese is probably just like all of us, we're all dealing with our own mental health issues, right? That's why we do the mental health minute every week on Nightcap Knowledge. But Tyrese is a person that is aware of what he wants to do, and he's taking the opportunity to prepare for what he wants to do. I would say that. Now, that's enough about Tyrese and what he's doing. But now the reason why I bring him up is this. The song that I selected for our first dance was The Best of Me. And I believe that Shallon definitely brings out the best in me, and she calls me to be better than my best. Because there are times that I fall short and I get out of sync with and sometimes we all do. We get out of sync with purpose. We get out of sync with, the things that we were put on this earth to do. And you got to have people around you. And it just so happens that the beautiful person that said yes to me when I asked her to marry me. Well, she said, get up. Then she said yes. Just to be, historically accurate as the historian that Tougaloo made me to be. But I'm saying all of that to say is when it's all about you got to find your groove, right? When you find your groove, sometimes things will knock you off your groove. You have to have people that will help you get back to your groove. Even Stella, she had to have somebody to help her get her groove back. Hey, well, hey, cut it out. All right, yeah, but for real though, happy anniversary to Shallon. I appreciate who she is and how she moves about the world. I appreciate how she is with our boys. She is definitely a general. She is a commander in chief. You can definitely say that I'm fine operating as a what would it be, first husband or something like that. I mean, I'm cool with it. Like, if I need to go, if I'm the soldier, I'm just gonna go out and I'm a wreck shop. I am totally fine with wrecking shop. I've been known to do it before. And I think me operating in the type of space and place with understanding the skill set that I have and how I fit into my family. I'm definitely in the groove, and I'm glad to be in the groove with my baby. So, Shallon, I love you. Happy anniversary. I'm gonna say it again this coming Tuesday because our actual wedding anniversary is September 5th, and her birthday is September 4th. And we will be celebrating this weekend, and we're gonna have a great time. And there's a blog that I wrote about it. So if y'all want to check it out, go to georgechuck.com and check out the blog, and we'll get on with the show. So, Mac, you said you wanted to talk about these bills and
Wait, wait,
oh,
wait, 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 wait,
oh,
wait,
wait,
wait.
wait, 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 wait,
So
wait.
one of the best things, of course, about Chuck's anniversary is also the beginning of Virgo season.
Oh Lord, Lord have mercy. Let me.
No, wait. Come on. So Chuck, come back. Because Chuck is surrounded by Virgos. He's surrounded by Virgos. So big shout out to my Virgo sister, Shallon. Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of y'all everywhere. It's like roaches.
God, damn.
Can look, Karen's a
Karen's a Virgo.
she's a Virgo.
Yeah,
Jada,
yeah,
my niece Jada's a Virgo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Chuck, I bet you said it. You like roaches. Hey,
Hey,
hey.
I might
So
call Jada a little roach sometime.
let me tell you what Nick Kimball, big shout out to Nick Kimball, class '04 too, Lou. Nick Kimball said, he said, you got longevity in your family. He said, ain't gonna nothing be around this earth but Eps and roaches. When at the end of time. He said, that's gonna be the whole thing left, is Eps and roaches.
Yep, and roaches.
I said, get out. Shut up, Nick.
Yeah,
Hey
I'm gonna
man,
have to
but
get
look,
these headphones. They good, but they don't last long enough.
I don't throw up another pair. But so actually, the topic for tonight came from Jay. So big shout out to Jay uh, for we we always watching. She's finding good stuff on TikTok and everything,
Yeah,
man. And you're just talking about the balance and the health and how to continue to push you to bring out the best in yourself or give you new ideas. And it was like old school, the Bills, like we used
mm,
to watch, and
yeah,
talk about how society prepared us. And then it was this new brother we found who spoke to the average community, which is the guy I sent you, which is a guy named Yellow Pain. But
yeah. I know Yellow Pain. He actually was at CBC Tunica.
right, so
Yeah,
but the messaging is just like what you and I watch. I'm just a Bill. We watch that,
yeah.
but the newer group now are watching
Yellow Pain.
Yellow Pain, right?
Now,
And it's
now
speaking
let
to
me
this
bring this
message.
up.
Mhm.
Have you seen the ALEC Rock version of "I'm Just a Bill"?
I have not seen that one. That's
All
one
right.
I want to see that one too. But the thing about it, what I was saying is how we start getting conditioned at an early age to know these things. This
Uh
is
huh.
part of after after school specials and stuff that we used to watch. It was like after
Right.
school special. It was like a soap opera for children. It was like that's something that you look forward to watching because it connected children with things you dealt with and taught
Yeah.
us a lesson. And then you had, of course, you had other stuff that came on PBS, things that we look forward to. So it's just like it's amazing how they were grooming us to, and these things stuck with us to something that you start to like, oh, it's nostalgic. I want to go
Yeah.
back and watch this, right? And you know every word of it. Um, but it's part of the conversation we had with Commissioner Stamps, and he was saying that if we knew our political platforms and all about the laws and stuff the way we know football,
Yes.
and the reason we don't know it like that because it's not a household conversation and a
Yeah.
household activity. And these type of things. This was something you look forward to get home to watch this stuff. So
Yeah. I agree with the analysis around us. Like when brothers are talking football and stats and for basketball, and even I'll say this: there are a few people that I follow on Instagram, a few people that I follow on Snapchat. They post their winnings from some of the parlays that they've been able to make. And for those of us that like me, I am an uninformed person as it relates to gambling and making a parlay. So to break it down the way that I understand it, if you are able to identify a winner in this one, a winner in this one, and a winner in that one, and all of them win, it multiplies whatever the dollar amount that you put down on that particular bet. Mac, did I get it right? Because you don't know. Because all right, I think that's my understanding. Well, I know that's my understanding. Let me know if I got it right or not.
and those who out there that participate in sports betting, let us know because I'm more traditional of roulette, blackjack, things of that nature. Um, but you sound like you. I know they use them squares, right? They have the squares, and that sound like that's about right. But
Yeah,
I got
I got a
all the
definition.
people we know. Oh, you
I
got it.
got a
Go ahead.
definition. A parlay bet is when a bettor makes two or more bets and combines them into one wager, depending on the sports book or the region. So I got it right. The reason why I brought it up, Mac, is because for you to make those types of bets and they hit, you are highly informed about each of those particular games. Now, to your point, what here's an idea, and I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I have no clue. What if we could bet on politics? Like do parlay bets. Like, oh, I know the the city council race in Jackson that's coming up. Like who's gonna make it out of the runoff?
I think some of that's happening already.
They
Uh,
betting out.
but the
I'm
thing
just
about
a
it is,
bill.
we have the capacity to influence those and the turnout, and we
Eh,
don't have the capacity to influence um, in the sports, right? Football or whatever. Like I can't call whoever it is and be like Russell Wilson and say, "Hey man, I
Yeah,
need you to add 100 more reps because I got this riding on you Sunday."
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm quite sure they do get that in real life, depending on some of the cats that from around the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got them kids like, "Hey man, I'm just calling to tell you good luck, man. The whole team, we riding for you. Yeah, I got 100 racks on you Sunday. Like, thanks for the pressure." You know what I'm saying? Because that mean a whole lot more coming from the hood than they got 100 racks on
Right.
you, right?
I got 100 racks on you. That
I
mean
got 100 racks.
yeah.
Yeah. So you don't, that's a whole lot of different level of pressure.
Let's
Um,
see it. Odd,
huh?
odds checker, U.S. politics. Shout out to Adam Siebert. He's got a website there, and it looks like they've got odds checker for U.S. politics. Very interesting.
Now they do have that, like
Yeah,
what's the odds of this person running based
yeah.
on demographics, could be age, whatever they fall into, for running in certain places, right?
Yeah.
um, it's just like one of the guys from city councilman, right? And I say it out loud. He has two Ivy League degrees.
Okay.
Uh, they said, he was socially awkward, um, very smart. He probably knew everything he needed to. He actually stepped down and resigned for a long time ago before things started going a different way, right? Um, but he didn't connect with a lot of the average people. Good
Mm-hmm.
guy, do anything he could help, help folks, but he didn't connect. Um, so they were like, oh, he wouldn't stand a chance if he ran for mayor. Not because he didn't know he wouldn't be capable to do the job.
Yeah.
Socially, he didn't connect with the demographics, right? It was a
Mm-hmm.
smaller percentage of people in the city that could connect with him versus others. You know what I'm saying?
So
So,
why are we not saying our brother's name?
oh, I just didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
talking about Melvin Priest Jr. Like cool ass
yeah,
dude. What was his
yeah.
DJ name? DJ
Because he used to be at down at Offbeat all the time, right?
down at
Um,
Offbeat, but before that, Seven Studios. DJ
sure was
Lonely,
essentially, yeah,
Lonely, DJ Lonely something.
yeah,
Sabir, what
yeah.
what was Melvin Priester's DJ name? Like absolutely cool dude, very smart, very astute city council person. I would say that Melvin
Attorney,
Priester,
yeah,
attorney
attorney
Melvin
name
Priester,
Melvin Priest.
would have
And
would have been a great city manager if we could employ the type of government
if we got a
that
city
Commissioner
manager structure,
Stamps was speaking
yeah.
to last week.
So, and the thing about it is, he was talking about supporting different things. Like he bought I don't know how he did this, but he had a Zeta tag on his car because his mother was a Zeta. So to support the Zetas, he had a Zeta tag on his car. That was one of the things. Like, that's Priest's car because it's got a Zeta tag on it. But that's
Mm,
a whole different. But it was, hey, his dad was a judge and his mom was a lawyer. So there's a Um, but it's the thing is the conversation and how we learn, and just like you said about the sports betting and knowing politics in other arenas.
yeah.
Oh, I'm quite sure wages are being different things because they talk it like other folks talk sports. They can
Mm-hmm.
tell you the breakdown. They can tell you how many times this person voted for this and how many times they didn't vote for that and what they didn't do. They know this in and out. That's their life. That's what they know. Which is probably, this is the reason that we had to take statistics, right? In political science, you had to know these numbers. Um, but it's also also talking about research. It also talking about doing surveys. I'm getting feedback from the community. How do they
Yeah.
feel? We participated in the Better Together Commission, right, with getting feedback from the community on how they felt about JPS at the time and the JPS leadership. So you're getting the raw data and you converting it to look at the statistics, and it shows like this percentage of folks say that they don't have any trust in da, 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 da. But it people have to be into to it, and we got introduced to this stuff at an early age with the I'm only a bill, and you got into that and you just learned it because it's a catchy song. That's how
Yeah.
children learn, right? You put music to just about anything, and you learn it. Matter of
So,
fact,
bro, do we want to like watch it now? Like, what do we want to?
I want to do both, man. I want
Okay.
to show the old school one, right? And
All
then I
right.
want to go to the ALEC one, and then we're in with the Yellow Pain.
All right. So let's do that. I'm going to bring up I'm Just a Bill, Schoolhouse Rock version of I'm Just a Bill, and then we'll go to the Alec version, and we'll close with Yellow Pain. We're gonna kind of discuss them after each one, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna discuss. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So here we go. Schoolhouse Rocks. I'm Just a Bill. One time for the one time. Here we go.
Whew, you sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
Here we go.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only
Only
a
Bill,
bill. And
and
I'm
I'm
sitting
sitting
here
here on
on
Capitol
Capitol Hill.
Hill.
Well, it's a long, long
Mm-hmm.
journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm
Committee in
sitting in
session, boy.
committee.
Hey, that's
I
real.
know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
How many
Well, you
bills make it
certainly
out
have
of
a lot of
session?
patience and courage. Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and
That's
he said,
real.
"You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I
Straight like
became a
that.
bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes,
Uh-uh.
I'm only a bill. And
Uh-uh.
I got as far as Capitol Hill.
Come on, come
Well,
on, come
now
on.
I'm stuck in committee and I'll sit here and wait
Come
while a
on.
few key congressmen discuss and debate
Let's go.
whether they should let me be a law. I hope and
Hello.
pray that they will, but today I am still
Just
just a
a
bill.
bill. Yeah, man. They just up in there arguing back and
Listen to
forth.
those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you? Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I
That
hope
part.
they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die. Die? Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me. If
Come
they
on.
vote yes, what happens? Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes,
All
I'm
right.
only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in line with a lot of other bills for the president
To
to sign. And if he
sign.
signs me, then I'll be alone. How I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just
Just
a
a
bill.
bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
You
Yes, that's
veto.
called a veto.
A
If the
veto.
president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so By that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it? No, but how I hope and pray that
Veto
I
ho.
will. But
Sorry.
today I am still just a bill.
Look up the free
Anytime you
ECM
bill,
legislative app
now
to
you're a
keep up
law.
with
Oh
Mississippi
yeah.
legislature, state elected officials, right where you are, including contact info and more. Shout out to Sabir.
So Chuck, it's two things I want to point out on that. I
Okay.
don't know if you noticed it, right?
Talk to me.
All right. So one, did you notice um, the bill that was in line
The
behind
bill the bills that were in line waiting for the president
yeah,
to
to,
sign
to,
them,
right. Did you
like the
see the
things
bill?
that they had on their head and things
Did
like
you
that.
see the bill with the hat with the rifle over his shoulder?
Yeah.
Right. So, and I understanding the years that that took place, right, and then all gun rights has always been an issue in the conversation, right, about
Mm.
laws. All right. So that's one. The second part was Um, you saw and they talk about transitioning from a bill to a law, right? Well, that's a what was the other thing? That was the other thing was godly. I was trying to point out to you that I noticed in this whole process. Um, I pointed out about the what they had on
Uh-huh.
the rifle, right? It was something. Oh, right there, right. So at one point in time, when Commissioner Stamps was running for office, and he was talking about his tour and working, and how he was, there at the White House and president,
Uh-huh.
and someone was trying to say, "You're trying to say that you Secret Service work at the White House? We ain't never seen no Marines at the White House. What'd you see back there, Chuck?" I'm okay,
Those look a lot like Marines.
okay.
And for real though, Mac,
Mhm,
if I'm not mistaken,
mhm.
who are the people that operate Marine One?
The Marines.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
I guess
and
it
that's the chopper. Because Air Force
right
One, you got,
is the
that's an
plane.
airplane.
So
But
it
yeah,
just like when people tell you, but this is now the Keith is only a few years older than us, so he was watching this when we were watching this, right? So
right.
just so it's not like somebody just created this and said, yeah, this is what I did. I mean, they've been showing us this, and I tell this about a lot of the things that we reference, like even for the control of this country. I said, have you ever watched a Western? You ever seen what they said and how they handled it, right? And how
Yeah.
these things came to be? That's just the lifestyle and the way. But this would teach any person that has the patience to sit down and watch it
3 minutes.
how a bill becomes a law.
Yeah.
Very, very. This applies to the state level. Instead of going to the president's desk, it goes to the governor's desk.
Right.
Same process, right? But that's if we want to learn. So it goes back to, as I talk about, and I'm admit, right? Because there's so much foolishness with technology, AI, so many different things that's negative. But
Yeah.
the things that's positive is like if you really want to know something, like you just get, and it's something from our childhood. Ain't like nothing that just came out yesterday. You can go
Look
back and
at Nightcapper Adam Siebert. Adam Siebert, he said Marines do all duties at the White House based out of the barracks at 8th and I. Like that's accurate right there. Like my
right.
man he gave a street corner.
Well, he sound like he's talking from experience, right? So it's just but it just go back to when you don't know, and it's easy somebody can mislead you, no matter what
Yeah.
someone's saying, right? So it just crazy when people are trying to manipulate a group, even talking about something being photoshopped and all that type of stuff.
Well, I
But
mean, propaganda is a tool. So at the end of the
correct.
day, man, like, cause see, here's the thing that I wanted to point out about. I'm gonna mute you right quick.
Go ahead.
Uh, the thing that I wanted to point out about, understanding American democracy. American democracy says that, like, I'm going to prove what I can prove, meaning that in a court of law and the laws that are being argued are the things that are you're guilty until proven innocent, or you're innocent until proven guilty. It's all about what you can prove, or beyond a reasonable doubt. So if I can create doubt, and in terms of propaganda, when we're looking at politics, all of the messaging that surrounds any particular race, especially those at the federal level, it's about creating doubt in the political system in which we operate. I think when we get down to the local level, it's more so about, what have you done for me lately? Like, how do I know that you're going to show up for me the way that I saw you show up for me last week? And if I haven't seen you show up, then I don't trust you. I don't know you to be a person that is active in the community, or a person that is actively investing into what we do in our city through whatever way that you can make an investment. So time, talent, treasure, right? So are you putting in your time in the city? If so, have you put in your time to understand how city government works or county government works? And if you have the time to make sure that you understand how the government works so that you can be effective inside of that government, then I think I can vote for you. If you're not putting in time, like physically in the streets, like I see you doing these things. All right, well, what type of investments are you making with your treasure? Because with your treasure, you have the luxury of being able to understand how to operate within a particular system. All right, you got the understanding of how to make the stuff happen, but what investment have you made for a particular area so that this area can see some type of economic impact or even really just like improvement? So economic impact might be, all right, now we've got a strip mall that has provided a space for a barber, a beautician, a cleaner, a beauty supply, um, a funeral home, a doctor's office, a dentist office. Like putting that in a neighborhood. Like if you know that you're gonna spend your day right there, the only other thing that you need to have is somewhere to eat. Cause you done got your teeth clean, you done had your annual checkup, you done got your dental checkup, you got your annual physical, you picked up your clothes from the cleaners, you got a haircut, you got your nails done, you got your hair did, all of that. Only thing you need something to eat. So if we're talking about a person that's able to do that, then I can say, shit, Mac put a damn strip mall in my community. How Mac know how to do that? Mac say he running for city council. I like what Mac did with that strip mall. Let's listen to Mac for a little while so we can see if he's really, ready to be on the city council or in a county commissioner seat or a circuit clerk or whatever the office might be. So I think when we're looking at local politics, and this is the part I think is most important, to your point, Mac, about the I'm Just a Bill by Schoolhouse Rock. The people who bring the bill to committee, like it has to be offered. It has to be authored and offered by somebody. So if I'm gonna write it, and this is where we can segue to ALEC Rock. If I'm going to write the bill, then it should be something that I'm willing to hold up for. And this is why I titled the episode Understanding American Democracy, because ALEC has bastardized the system of American democracy, meaning that a quote unquote nonprofit or an organization with charity status can say, I'm going to offer scholarships to these folks to come hang out for the weekend, and we're gonna give them some tools so that they can go back to their respective municipalities, states, and then from the state level things rise up and then ultimately go, because somebody's going to appeal it, it gets to the Supreme Court, and then if the Supreme Court, which we currently have a supermajority conservative Supreme Court, as our brother CJ broke down a number of episodes ago, if it gets to that point, it's a law, it's precedent. So I think now it's a good time for us to present ALEC Rock, and it is, I would say, it's a remix. And this remix is brought to us by the Center for Media and Democracy. And man, we're just gonna play it, and I think it's a good segue for what we've been able to understand or learn or come to an understanding about the Schoolhouse Rock version of "I'm Just a Bill." This is ALEC Rock, the Center for Media and Democracy.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey.
Bill done got ran over, Mac.
Tough break, Billy boy, but there's a new way to make laws these days. Alec's the name, and you better not have scratched the limo, pal. See, it works like this nowadays. Bunch of corporations get together and get tax write-offs for bankrolling a charity called the American Legislative Exchange Council. Sounds pretty official, huh? Then they schmooze and booze a whole lot of politicians from states all over the country at posh hotels. Corporate bucks also buy scholarships for politicians, if you're a scholar of drinking scotch, smoking cigars, and playing golf at a resort. So now there's suddenly one big happy family, the corporations, the lobbyists, the politicians. They all get together far away from your citizens and voters, and the unelected lobbyists secretly vote with the politicians, as equals, of course, on the things the corporations want to do. Like, get clean air and water rules, raise your credit card rates as high as they want, crush them democratic unions, make it easier to get away with shooting people, and privatize schools, prisons, bail, immigration, and what have you. Hell, they privatize their own mothers. So once the politicians have been wined and dined, a little campaign contribution here, a good time there, the politicians, legislators, head back to their capitals or Congress and fast-track as many of these bills as they can. And here I am, a model ALEC bill, soon to be law. It's a hell of a lot easier and more fun than how you used to do it with all those regular old citizens and meddling media watching your every move. Face it, you're washed up. Corporations have made government of the people obsolete, Bill. It's a thing of the past.
That's up next.
What do you have to say for yourself, you old dreamer? Please, help. I gotta stand my ground on you right here. Put you out of your misery.
That is. So look, Mac, that's your first time seeing that, right? All right, chime in.
Actually, is not a new way, right? So even when they were showing us this way with Schoolhouse Rock, how a bill becomes law,
Mm-hmm.
again, go back to watching westerns, right? This is something that has always been around, where folks try to smooth and connect folks to direct resources and to have a small pocket of people controlling everything, where they make everybody else feel like they have
Yeah.
a part to play, and they really are controlling it, right? So this is not new. This is something that's been happening for a while, but now that you see more corporations putting more money into different places, and of course they're doing it for favorable votes and support for influence for what's going to benefit them as corporations, right?
Yeah.
So we see it all the time. Uh, but what we don't see, and what does not happen, is the average people that push their own candidate and they stop spending money with those corporations that form and support Alex, right?
Yeah.
It just so that goes back to again the discipline of knowledge and getting what you want. You know, do you? And then it highlights also, um, is there another option? And that goes back to other folks that you're trying to convince. If I say, hey man, look, we got to stop shopping in this, they say, yeah, but I live over here, so what's my other option? And then we get looking at them like, well, you just got to find something else. I can't tell you to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we try to keep it real right here, right?
Right.
If I know that these businesses are supporting a candidate that does not benefit my community, my demographics, but that business make all this money off of us
Right.
because we don't have any other options, and it's a necessity. So when you say stop supporting this business, then okay, what's my alternative?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna do a buy-in or support, and you get a group like a Mississippi Move, somebody say, "Hey man, we're gonna support and put some money in the media, and we're gonna tell everybody come over here and here's an option." or if you don't have an option.
And I think, Matt, what you're describing, we have to put some thought and strategy into looking at the business of options. Like we talking stocks, like options are what you're gonna trade, right? You have to take the opportunity to say, all right, well, look, this is what we're going to propose. Once we create this hole, how do we fill the hole? And then how can we monetize that hole to the point to where it then shows a different way, but then also places the community in ownership of the revenue that it's producing. And I think by putting the community into in leadership over like let's say, all right, give me let's work a scenario, right? Let's work a scenario.
Mhm.
So what's something that, or someone that is investing into the ALEC situation where they are supporting or underwriting the
Mhm.
sessions that ALEC host,
Mhm.
and we know that they're doing this, and they have government relations teams that support these particular types of legislation. Give me an example.
Uh, I give you an example, right? So several years ago, when Mississippi started looking at doing charter schools, we was at an event for Women for Progress. Two ladies came from Memphis, and they said, "Hey, we're here to start a charter school." And we're looking, because they felt very comfortable talking to everybody in the room.
Uh-huh.
Now, the governor never had announced that they were going to do charter schools yet, right? Um, but it was monetized, privatized, right, where folks were going to benefit from it. So that means conversations had already been happening with the governor in the government because it hadn't even been announced yet, like out there that everybody know about charter schools. Well, this person is here to start a charter school. Not to say we're here to advocate, and no, you say I'm here to start a charter school, right? So that means that was something that folks courted and influenced the right enough people to show the benefit of Mississippi embracing charter schools and how
Yeah.
it would make their lives a lot better. But what they don't tell folks is that's when children from public school transfer over to charter school, the money stay with them. If they don't like charter school and they come back to public school, that's a whole nother different set of funding. I mean, because the money stayed with them at the charter schools. So it was a conversation, and so and matter of fact, it was Tyson. Is Tyson still on? It was
Tyson is on.
okay.
Yeah.
It was Tyson. It was our first community speak forum. He said, I remember this. It was our first community speak forum, and we had done it at the room upstairs in the Medical Mall. Sweets was there. Brother Hollis was there. Rest in peace. And Tyson said, "Why we always fighting against something? Why don't we take advantage of it?"
There you
And what
go.
he was saying is, why didn't we start our own charter school that catered to our demographics, right?
Right.
Because someone else had already done the courting and influencing the legislatures and the governor to vote for this, because they're focused on them.
How do we
But
make it work in our favor?
how we making it work in our favor, right? Because
Yeah.
we are the minority. So how do we benefit from this, and what was our plan of action? And we didn't have one, right? So in real life right now, there's a lot of businesses that are canceling their equity. I think it's diversity inclusion. And so another conversation that Jay and I had this morning, right? And I said, listen to the places that are canceling.
Yeah.
I said, they supply who? Majority of our farmers. I said, but here's the identity. When you start thinking about farmers, very few people think about black farmers. I said, but even though that you might be a black farmer, where are you going to get your stuff from? So then it challenges you to talk about when we say don't support this and don't support that, well, what's the other options
Yeah.
that you have? So, Chuck, you right there. Tyson is there, right? Name me a locally minority owned, or it ain't going to be locally, a minority owned version of Lowe's, Home Depot, Tractor Supply. You can go. I want you to Google it. But y'all search it, right?
All right.
Name a company that's black owned or minority owned that sells tractors and farm equipment. Name and tell me where it is.
Uh, shucks. Let's see. It says Delta Diamond is the first black-owned facility. It's look. All right. This is what it says: established in Bolivar County in 2021. One business that is helping upend the legacy of inequity in American agriculture. Okay. Let's see. 5 black-owned businesses killing the agriculture game right now. I don't see nobody selling tractors though.
Correct. So, first of all, and just going back to all this is connected. If there are not enough black owned, there's not enough black farmers in America to feed all the black people in America. That's for one. So if you was trying to go that route and
Yeah.
actually, but we don't own businesses to have the conversations with the folks
To
to
fill
do
the hole.
legislation,
Like
to
if
do
we saying
legislation in
don't
our
go over
favor.
here and do this,
Right.
do this. Here's your option. Here's your option.
But so even this, right? So if you go to, we say Governor Tate Reeves, hey, I'm such and such CEO. I got the such and such second largest whatever in the state. And we did this, and I am not in favor of what you're doing. But we don't have that, right? If Mr. Patterson came over, Mr. Patterson is not happy. Mr. Patterson owned the second largest, this, that, and the third in the state. He provides this much, and he donated it. You're gonna hear what Mr. Patterson had to say,
Very true. Like
right?
people are gonna listen to Leroy. What is his name? Leroy Walker.
Right.
Yeah.
But we will. But there's certain people that are gonna listen to Dr. John Calhoun
Mm-hmm.
a lot more because of he's an engineer in an engineering company, and he has multiple clients and customers, right? So he's on a different level, meaning that you are influencing. So when that person is speaking and talking about things again that that influences and give more opportunity, you would listen
Yeah.
because they have stuff that they're contributing. So whether you're contributing funds directly to a politician's campaign, or you bring so much to the table that it benefits them when they're fighting and competing with other states for these different deals, you like, I got this. I'm here in Mississippi. They want me to go to Arkansas. I'm thinking about going to Arkansas. No, we don't want you to go to Arkansas. What can
Yeah.
we do to keep you in Mississippi? So that goes back to again what we bring to the table. What we don't bring to the table because we don't understand how this process works. When you don't understand how the process works and all that goes in it and what happens behind the scenes, closed doors, you don't know how to participate, right? So you can't get out there and play the game because you don't even know the rules, or you don't even know the
Right.
first part you got to do, right? It's so much go into so many different things that you don't ever see until they actually take the field. It's like with even with we were using football, right? You don't know. Uh, we were talking about. Oh, right. I take it back. I just watched a podcast with Undertaker. It's about wrestling. He's like, you see those guys do their moves. What you don't know is what they did prior to learn those moves, and immediately after they leave the ring, they are back in medical and somebody's working on them to try to put them back together.
Yeah.
You don't know all the ins and outs because it hadn't been introduced to you on a level where you find it fascinating or interesting where you say, I'm going to research and learn more and I'm going to learn more. I'm going to learn how these things connected.
Yep.
So by introducing, like we got it, right? It gave us a peak of interest to learn more about politics because you're like, this is a conversation now because it was something even for us, it was like, oh man, how a bill become a law? You're like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. So now I want to know more about how a bill become a law because the conversation is peaked. Um, so then it's a door that's open for parents. Now, Are parents ready? That's another.
That's a question that needs answers. I do believe that a couple of the videos, the two that we've watched this evening,
Mm-hmm.
I think these deserve to be made into a. I mean, anybody can do this. Like, you can get together, you can say, all right, we're gonna watch this one, we're gonna watch this one, and then the last one that we're gonna bring up, which is My Vote Will Count by Yello Pain featuring Seven Streeter. I think we can maybe let's do like a little curriculum. I want to. There is something that I'm not at liberty to share, but very soon there will be a tool that will help people gain a better understanding of the of the American government, right? Let's just say it like that. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to, talk more publicly about it, because I've been contracted to do something for this particular thing, right? And I can't say what it is.
Don't say.
I won't say.
Let's
But
watch Yellow Pain and then we get
yeah,
a brief on that.
yeah, there we go. So this is My Vote
Can
Will
we watch
Count
Yellow
by
Pain? Can we show Yellow Pain?
now look, this is what we can do. I don't know. We're probably already in violation, because Schoolhouse Rock is distributed by a number of platforms. Disney, Amazon, and it's also monetized on YouTube. So let's go ahead and do it, man. I mean, Tyson,
Fuck it.
here we go. This is educational, so let's talk over it, Mac. Let's talk over it. Let's try to talk over it, and because you've seen this one, so have I.
Yeah.
And we can kind of add our commentary to it, which will of course make it more of a original piece
Conversation.
of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
put us down here,
Yeah.
and
Go
we
ahead.
will start this, and then we'll turn it down just a bit.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Yeah, here we go. That's Seven Streeter right there. I like how they started it off.
Look back in the corner.
Put you back in the corner.
So look back in the corner.
Oh, yeah. So your boy walk by bumper. Yeah.
Right.
Man, that looked like Fair Street, like what Fair Street could be.
Right.
Well, he was in office for 8 years, bro. Still ain't getting nothing done for it.
They talk about Obama in this particular moment right here.
Whole 8 years, bro. They don't care about us, bro.
No, that's fact, though. I really don't even remember the last time a president did something for us, to be honest.
He about to snap. He about to snap right here, Mac.
There you go.
Bro. You literally don't know what you're talking about. Man.
You don't even know what you're talking about.
First, you know, back in middle school when they taught us it
Come
was
on.
3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial,
Right.
the legislative, and executive.
There you
All
go.
we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now, none of them 3 people make no laws. They just be checking them. The laws come
Right.
to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it.
Yes.
So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along.
All along, it was Congress. It was Congress all along.
Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people
Right.
that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Because we ain't even know their name. We ain't know their
Time out. Come here. Let me holler at you.
The state house, that's legislative. They make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do. Okay, y'all?
Okay, y'all. Hold on, man. Like,
Hey,
I love how you put it together, man. I absolutely
But-
love how you put it together.
so let me say what I said. All right, in reference to any president, and what I did was in this particular time I was talking about President Obama,
Uh-huh.
and folks saying, "Oh, he didn't do this," and it was talk. I said, "Well, President Obama is the contractor, right? Any president is a contractor.
There you go. I like that.
They tell you what they're going to do, right?
Uh-huh.
And you didn't send them the people that they needed to fulfill the dream or the mission, right?
The subcontractors.
So you don't have a concrete pour,
Right.
right? Then nobody come pour concrete. You don't have an electrician. You don't have a plumber, right? You don't have none of the things. You're like, man, what you didn't build a building. So what it was and how they're breaking it down is the attention and similar to what Commissioner Stamps talked about. The attention is on the presidential election. Now, understanding that you should have 3 times as much attention on who's in Congress and the Senate, regardless of who the president is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so, say for instance, another president was in office, right? If the Senate and Congress look different, then the power would have been limited, right? That makes a decision. Goes back to again about understanding the elections in the process. We put a lot of weight. Black community put a lot of weight on who the presidential election is because we see them as open up federal laws for us.
Right.
But a lot of the things that happen to us on a city, county, and state level before we even get to federal, right? So if we had that same understanding about the city, county, and state, it wouldn't matter who the president is, but you will have a safeguard in a bubble that shields you, regardless of which way you are trying to go,
Yeah.
if you have more control of your local elections. But that also goes back again to your city council and your state legislatures, House and Senate, right? Supervised board is, it's a district, right? They vote together, right? But that makes a difference too.
It
That makes a
does.
major difference, right? So if I know that I want certain stuff down in South Jackson, so who are the 2 supervisors that represent most of South Jackson? We need to be advocating and have a conversation so that we know that South Jackson gets what it needs because
And
we
introduce
advocated
those
to get.
ideas to those particular individuals.
Well,
And
when you start,
that's the same thing with our legislators. We got to
you
introduce
start
these
before.
ideas.
Well, you start before they become a president. See, that's the thing about it. You got to start before they become that person.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? You got to start before they become the supervisor and before it becomes the Senate. You got to have their understanding and knowledge, and before they get into that seat, you need to know what that person stands for. And part of it, what we talk about with Mississippi Move was knowing the capacity of the person and the capacity of the position that person is running for. You have folks that tell you anything. When I get elected, I'm going to do this, and it sounds great,
Free
but they don't
snowballs
have.
for everybody.
What?
You ain't even got a
But you,
snowball truck.
we had folks that was running for. I think they were running for Senate. Yes, they were. They were running for Senate. They were running against. What's his name? David. He's the only white senator out here. I forgot his last name.
David Blunt.
Blunt. They run against Blunt, but they told me they're gonna fix streets because everybody was, everybody was upset about streets. I was like, don't fix. They don't fix streets, brother. That's not what they do, right? They might can advocate and introduce policy and come up with a way to say that we're going to support the city of Jackson with some more funds to help with infrastructure, but they don't fix streets. But you said whatever you thought people wanted to hear because they were sick and tired of having these potholes in their street,
Yeah.
but they don't have the capacity to fix streets.
It's not under their purview.
So you would have to know those things. So that makes a big difference when you're talking about. So before you put that person in office, you got to know who that person is and what the capacity of the position is and what the capacity of that person is before you start talking about, I'm gonna bring this legislation to them to take to the governor's office so that it can
Right.
become law. Because that person might not even have the capacity to push that whatever it is forward to committee. That person might not even have the capacity to be the person that's over that, to coordinate that, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So for us, the more that you want things to be, well, truth Joe, the more you want to be left alone and not have to worry about participating, the more work you got to do on the front end. That means you got to make sure that you have the right people in place,
Right. To
and
represent your interest.
so that you won't have to worry. Because if you
Right.
just do whatever, then you're gonna have to continue to worry. So you don't get to kind of chill out for a little while.
Yeah.
But I like
Let,
another
let,
thing that
let's
go ahead.
finish this. Let's finish this because Tyson's he put it in the comments, and also shout out to Kenosha and Tyson. They're both sending me
Oh,
messages. We had just paused at the 1:30 mark. But
go
also
back.
Kenosha gave us some great ideas too. So let's get back into the video, and then we'll go through some of these ideas that we're getting via text message.
Their election every 2 years, but we don't never even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. They the ones make child support laws. They the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The state house make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years. We just let them sit. See, they don't want to tell you this. They want you to focus on the president.
Come on.
Now, the third branch is the judicial. That's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city.
Come on.
When they let her get voted in, because they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we gonna fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters. Me and you. Somebody told us that the government keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is because we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president. I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the pros.
All right. That boy talking, ain't it?
So check this out, right? Who is the insurance commissioner for the state of Mississippi?
Anybody in the comments? Who is the insurance commissioner for the state of Mississippi? I'm pretty sure they ought to know who the public service commissioner for the Central District is.
So the insurance commissioner, when the Obamacare came out, was actually looking at trying to be in favor for it, and the governor stepped in and said that he didn't have the authority to move on it. But as the insurance commissioner, he could have. They weren't not in favor of it because of who it came from, right? But he saw the benefit of it as being an insurance commissioner, how it would have benefited the state. But it's like the transportation commissioner. It's just like the state treasurer, state auditor. It's all these positions that we don't know about that affect some of the things. Prime example: when people get mad about bridges, I watch too many people. Actually, both positions. People was upset with the city of Jackson about bridges. Who handled bridges?
The county.
County, and who else?
MDOT.
So that's what? That's a transportation commissioner.
Yeah, MDOT.
Right.
Mississippi Department of Transportation. Yes. My
Right,
bad.
but your transportation commissioner.
I'm talking in acronyms. My bad.
But your transportation commissioner for the Central District will handle the area like for Jackson, right? So you be mad at Jackson, but the person that handles those bridges you need to talk to are that person, right?
Right, at the state level. Yeah.
Public service commissioner. So city of Jackson, I see people all the time. Okay, city of Jackson, my light's been out all this time. Y'all need to do something. The street light out. Y'all need to do something. That's energy.
That's energy. That's not the
City of Jackson don't regulate energy. Who regulates energy? Public service commission.
And Jackson Water has been privatized.
And so until Cecil Brown ran for public service commissioner, majority of black communities did not know what public service commissioner was and what they did because nobody ever came to our community and got out and put signs out and campaign and talk to folks. You never knew the capacity of a public service commissioner because they never came to your community. They made those decisions without your influence and input, even if they just needed a small amount of folks. You did not know what they did. So we're getting mad at the wrong folks because we don't know the people that really have capacity and a voice in the fight. We don't know who they are. Man, I don't know what that is. I ain't voting for them. And keep going.
And keep on going.
And that's the person.
And look, here's the strategy that has not worked. So I think a lot of times we got to talk about what has not worked too. Some of the things that we employ in terms of strategy, and Kenosha, I saw your text message, and I just spoke to it. So we're gonna work on that. And maybe we get Kenosha, this all-star graphic designer, to do us a marketing campaign. I think that would be great. This guy right here, like that guy, all-star graphic designer. Not the George Chuck, the Flex Graphics. Trust the coin. Shout out to Flex Graphics. The thing that we have to do more of is call out the things that do not work. A lot of people at the top, they will say vote down the ballot. That vote down the ballot crap ain't working. Like you just saying it does not make it happen. The thing that we've got to do is what we've been describing all night, or you know, in the last hour and 10 minutes or so. We have to make sure that people have an understanding, like Max said, like understanding of the capacity of the person that is running. And if they are elected to that position, we have to understand what that position is responsible for. And it has to be communicated in the same way that Yello Pain, ALEC Rock, and Schoolhouse Rock have done in 9 minutes. That's 9 minutes worth of watching. So if we can have people, to take away a couple of things from Nightcap Knowledge tonight. Number one thing is watch Schoolhouse Rock so that you can understand how laws become laws in the United States. Then watch how ALEC Rock, watch how it shows to us, the viewer, the community member, the constituent. It shows to us how a person or an entity can influence legislation. That's two. That's influence, right? We talk about governmental relations. We talk about nonprofit organizations that have particular C number designations, right? And then the last part is Yello Pain and 7th Street are kind of rolling it all together. Like, look, that Schoolhouse Rock, ALEC Rock, that's cool, but I'm finna put it to you like this. Now, all propaganda that is centered around, because the propaganda is PR, right? Let's just boil it down to the boil down. Like what the roux actually becomes something that we want to consume. All of this is propaganda aimed at educating people in the way that they can receive the information. Nobody's, like Sabir mentioned earlier, there's a website or an app. Here it is. Look up free ECM legislative app to keep up with the Mississippi legislature, state elected officials, right where you're including the contact info. And speaking of that, and the people that we're working with and would like to work with us, there will be a bi-weekly statewide volunteer conference call, Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Our brother Sabir, along with Mac and I, Mississippi Movers organization, we will be hosting this, coordinating this. It will be bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. If you're interested in learning how to do some of the things that we do off air, whether it be voter registration, whether it be presentations inside of churches and things like that, this is the place to do that. So you can go to msmove.org. You can sign up to be a volunteer and get registered and in the loop for the next bi-weekly statewide conference call, because we're working around the clock, year round, because election season, there is no off season. Now, we just said a lot tonight, but I truly appreciate the people who created those videos, those creatives. I appreciate Mac for bringing the topic up, because I think it starts us in the direction of having a better understanding. Because P. Scott, what P. Scott mama, grandmama said, the best thing that two people can have is understanding. He always said that at orientation. Who did he say he got that from? His mama? I think I heard my grandma. I know my grandmama said that. Viola said that. Baby, the best thing that two folks can have is understanding. So we getting some understanding. we want to make sure we have some understanding between our constituents and the elected officials that represent them. Mac, I don't have any more video for us to watch, but I definitely want you to give some closing comments as it relates to the topic of understanding American democracy and next steps for us as we move into another week of election season.
So what you might not know, Chuck. So right here to my right is pictures of um my Aunt Mary, and then at the bottom is when Fred and my mama, and then my grandmother and my great aunt. And my grandma always say, no matter how high a bird fly, they got to come down and get water to drink. Right? Don't get above your raising. Right? So sometimes people get to the position, and we talk about legislation, different folks, or even the thought process. Right? You got to come back down. We've learned so much complex stuff, and it sounds good, but it's the simplest things that we can do that make the biggest difference. And that's what we just pointed out with understanding something that was created for children is understanding how this process works and connecting it to everyday life, right? So you got to come sometimes, and I'm adding my, definition of what grandma was talking about is that you got to come back down and make it more basic, right? In the words of Brother Hollis, also rest in peace, is to make it plain. And we don't make things plain enough. So Yello Pain said he spoke to a certain demographic of folks. We hear a lot of people on a political platform. They talk about the business owner, which is the multi-millionaire business owners, right? They are mentioned every now and then the mom and pops, but they talk about the middle class. He was speaking to the folks that are in poverty and working class when he started talking about food stamps, right? When he started talking about these other things, that spoke to a different class of people, right? The poor is the largest group of people in the country, regardless of what they look like. But because they are not on the same page based on party lines and other things, they are not united and they are not getting their just due from the people in power. And and it's right. So what I did for election day, I got let my daughter stay at school to the last amount where her day didn't count against her, and I picked her up on the bus in front of the school, and we went and voted together, and I made her work, right? So it goes back again. Now I would say this shit, right? And then sometimes our society get to be hypersensitive. I would say this shit: make your children do stuff.
Yes.
Don't get into the, oh no, we want to give them space to be creative, let them make their own choices. Your child get up there looking like Krusty the Clown because then put all these goddamn clothes on. I just wanted to let them be them and be a free spirit. You don't go take that shit off and go put something else on because again, the people you like the people that we are. The reason that we the people that we are, because we had some folks that tell you, uh, Chuck, I don't know where the hell you think you going or what you about to do. Am I right, Chuck, or am I right? You ain't had no. What did you learn from Pastor Patterson when it
Hey
come to
man,
work?
I learned how to put a suit on, buddy, and I
Where he
learned how
tell
to
you,
go to work.
where he tell you about when you're working, you shouldn't see, but what? And what you should see?
Assholes and elbows, baby.
You,
Assholes and elbows.
we
If
ain't
you
got
want,
time to
hey,
be. You ain't
I
got
ain't
time
got.
to do
I
all that.
don't need to see this if I'd have gave you an assignment.
Hey, and look at Chuck. Man, Chuck got a great work ethic. Chuck did it. Chuck didn't get that work ethic because Pastor Patterson said, "Well, Chuck, if you would like to stay in your room today in color, that's fine. You don't have to go outside with us." Chuck, get up, put your boots on. That it was a directive. See, that's a difference. That so what I'm
Yeah,
saying is your children learn by what you do in the directive.
yeah.
Uh, and the stuff that we were directed to learn, we appreciate now. Because if we had an option to go eat cookies and do some other shit, that's probably what we would have did.
Hey, my boy,
That ain't what they told you.
my boy.
It was not a request. This is not what they told you. So when again, if we really want to save the generations, as we say, and change things, we got to first change our mindset and what we want to see happen in our lifetime, and then make it a mandate that we show our children and expose it to them, right? Expose it to them and give it all they got and show them, and then and people say, well, no, that's fine. Whoever disagree, that's fine. That's why you have other options in other podcasts. But you just telling you,
Hey man,
the thing, but the thing about
you running
that
folk
is,
off, man.
hey, listen, it is what it is, cause they talking about it. We can't get to where we need to be without being real, and things are so sugared down and watered down. It's like we just can blame. Like, no, we got to be real. If you really want to know this stuff, we don't have no excuse not to learn it. We can say, well, they don't teach it in school. Okay, we don't teach it in school. Are you going to teach it at your house for your children and their friends?
Yeah,
Well, then why are we talking about it? The void is empty. The
yeah.
space is empty, right? There's a void. What are we going to do with the lack of knowledge is not being shared? Are we going to help spread the knowledge? Are we
Mm.
going to have this conversation with other parents about maybe showing this and getting together and doing this with their children? That was a conversation. Hey, you know, go ahead.
Now, your last statement, it it brings me back to something that I think we may have kind of moved. We've done this already, but I think the next iteration of it is what we've spoke about this evening. So we've curated 3 free videos, right? There, this is all of this is public knowledge. Now we might get flagged for playing the videos within this broadcast because some of the platforms that we stream to are monetized, and we can't make money off of the monetization of the platforms. Even though it's pennies, like that's a whole nother story, which deserves some legislation. The thing that I'm trying to bring into our conversation, Mac, is this: the development of a curriculum around the 3 videos that we use to frame our discussion tonight. We use Schoolhouse Rock, ALEC Rock, and Yello Pain's My Vote Will Count, to get people to have a baseline understanding of the American democracy. What does the curriculum for tonight's lesson, or if we break it up, and I don't know if it's videos, like each video is a lesson. I think all of this fits together into one lesson. But then what are the iterations thereafter? Like, if we run this back, let's say not next week, but the week after next. Like this is the end of August. What about National Voter Registration Day week? How do we follow this up? Like, what is the next iteration of our conversation as it relates to understanding American democracy?
Well, all 3 videos talked about the legislature branch, right? So what we can do is highlight and put a spotlight on everyone that's running for non-presidential positions for this election, so people will know what's on the ballot, right? And highlight it with pictures and names and breaking it down. Um, because we know that there's a race going on in South Mississippi, right? Um, outside of outside of folks we know in that area, Brother Sabir shared with us, there has been nothing on a large scale to know who's running, right?
Who you
So
talking about, Mac?
we're talking about South Mississippi, right? There's what's the brother name? Ty Pinkston, Ty
Ty Pinkins and Roger
and
Wicker.
Roger Wicker, right? Where's the conversation being around it on a large
Very
on a
true.
large scale, right? But the capacity that either one of those will have on making legislation for the state of Mississippi, or are
and
influencing
representing
legislation for the
our
country,
interests at the federal level.
but also influencing legislation for the country. They just represent Mississippi. Don't mean that their legislation is only going to be. It's going to be someone they're going to get with somebody else, and they're going to. So the thing of it is, but you have not heard anything because again, from the Yellow Pain video, you only focused on the president, right? From I'm only a bill. He told you that the president just signs it or vetoes it. The work is done in the legislature.
Yep.
We don't know anything about what's going on with these two folks running.
I'm on their
And that's
text message list. Both
so
Wicker and Pinkins.
right. I mean, but it tends to be for those who are very active politically, like
Yeah.
this voting. You end up getting these messages from everybody, right? But it's saying that you're trying to reach everybody that has the capacity to cast a vote. And the focus again, the people that are going to write the legislation, there has not been a lot of publicity about either one of the candidates.
Neither of the two.
If you are not paying attention to it, then you won't know about it. And so that's why I think one of the things we can do is to highlight what else is happening on election day. Who else is running and what's the capacity and what they do. So what do we know about this person? What have they contributed to the community and society? What capacity do they have with the position they are seeking? That's something we can continue to shine a light on in reference to these videos we watch because we got to know how these things are connected. And hopefully somebody that's watching will go back and do due diligence and read it and learn more about these things more in depthly and try to figure out some creative ways to teach themselves, teach their children for
Yeah.
those who do not know. But again, we need to make election day
You
again
got to make that
something.
shit hot.
Well,
It's got to be cool, man.
well, again, 2004, we in '08 and all the way up, we did election day watch parties, which was
Yeah.
something that was totally different. Now everybody's doing those. Watch parties usually are only associated with a candidate. We did election day watch parties for the
Watch
general
parties are
public.
typically associated with sporting events. Let's just say it like that. That's the
Well,
thing we've been on.
so it started with sporting events, right?
Right.
And then you have particular candidates that's running for office. We
There
were
you go.
doing it for the general public to just watch and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Now we ain't gonna never tell you that there were no libations involved.
What
We would not.
bullshit?
We ain't gonna tell you that it wasn't. It might not have been a little glen, but what we're saying is you meet people in social work. One thing they put in your head is you meet people where they are. Community
Yeah.
organizing, you meet people where they are. You meet folks where they are and not trying to take them somewhere else. Hey, I want to create this environment that you're going to be comfortable in to learn something that's new. If
Yeah.
I got an environment that you're comfortable in, then you're going to be a lot more likely to try to pay attention. But if
Bro.
you don't want to be here and it's boring,
Yeah.
you
It's
ready
got
to
to be
go.
lit, man. It's got to be lit. Like it has to be a groove. I would I'm going to say this. Some of the voter engagement activities they are leaning in the right direction. They're leaning in the direction that Mississippi Move has always been in. Like we are going to create a party, and it is going to be cool for you to have this hangout happen, so that while you're enjoying, one of your favorite beverages and like, a plate of food that you like to eat, I can introduce to you what I'm passionate about. And the thing that I'm passionate about is my community. And I'm trying to get you to understand that there are people that are creating and implementing policies that are negatively affecting or positively affecting how we live our lives. So if, for instance, if I have to buy you a cup of coffee so I can begin a relationship with you and get you registered to vote, we that's the groove we on. That's what we're willing to do. If I have to buy you a beer to get you registered to vote and begin a relationship with you, that's the type of groove we on. If I got to buy you a Jack and Coke, the same thing applies.
So we're gonna wind up, right? Because
Come on.
again, also with this subject not being the most popular, we want to keep folks definitely engaged and interested. So I want you to be ready for the cue for the end, Chuck. Not just a beer. Uh, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, whoo, buddy. Did you read that?
Hold on. I'm gonna let you know if I read it or not.
Oh, never mind. I know what you read. So, um, so we talked about the legislature, about the opportunities, and about what they do. Here's what we got to do. Regardless if you work for somebody 8 to 5, you take a page out of Dr. Henderson's book, and everybody should have a for-profit and a non-profit. You should start your own business. Starting your own business helps you learn um, how you create more things for yourself and your family.
Okay.
But it's connected to voting, and meaning that
Yes.
you got to look at how these folks economically affect you with being elected to those different positions, and how does it either one or two things. Well, it's only two things they're gonna be. They either gonna be a what? They're gonna either be an asset
Or
or a
liability.
liability. And you got to look at that. So when that person is in office, how does that affect me economically? Are they an asset or are they a liability? And that takes you knowing your personal business and things that you're doing, knowing that person's capacity as a person, who they are, knowing the capacity of that position. Is there a legislation that you could bring forward that they will probably and be in favor of that would increase the business and the economic flow for people like you? If you
Yeah.
know that this person is not a fan of that, and then you let them become the state senator or Congress, then what you may think that's going to go any further? If they're not a fan of it, then they might come up with legislation that's going to further hurt you.
Right.
Uh,
And Stamp spoke to that. He was like, man, everything that came up in it, he was talking about a particular bill. He said
yeah.
everything that came up in it, I'm like, I'm not a fan of, but I had to make a compromise. And I think, compromise is where nonpartisan or partisan or bipartisan is the proper term.
It's bipartisan, right?
Bipartisan support achieves things that benefit the majority of constituents that are represented by all elected officials.
So you say, listen, I don't like all this stuff in here, but listen, here's one thing I ain't giving on. For me to leave this alone and not, I need 40%
Right.
of the contracts to go to minority businesses.
Right.
So guess what happens a lot of time when that's advocated for, and we talk about, man, they ain't did this, they ain't did that, they ain't did nothing for us. Do we have the credentialing and everything we need to meet the box?
Are we set up? Do we have our designation and all of our certifications?
Do
Yeah.
we have everything in place? Do we know
To
all
operate
these
at a high
things?
level within this system of quote unquote American democracy.
I've heard a contractor that make this comment that they didn't want the main contract. They rather have the subcontract and let quote unquote one of them white boys get the main contract because they didn't have all their ducks in a row. So again, it's about preparation, and we know about them 6 P's, right? And being ready, and it means in all capacities. When you're going to be ready, man, they got some money about to come down for farmers. Really? You got all your stuff in no, I ain't got all my stuff
Mac,
together, but
hold up.
right.
What that's some Sigma shit. What's y'all 6 P's?
Uh piss proper planning prevent piss poor performance.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Proper planning I would say Terrell. That's one of Terrell's favorite ones.
We do 5 P's. Piss poor preparation promotes pain. And then we do 12 P's.
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
There's some P shit. I mean, I'm sorry.
Hey, listen. I think at the end of the day, you end up getting that. You end up getting.
I love the same.
Look, you get the message that piss poor performance. I mean, proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Piss poor performance promotes pain.
Yeah. So, connectivity. If you are not properly planned and have an election plan and a vote plan, you do not know who you're voting for and the capacity of people you're voting for. You do not properly plan to choose your candidate, to choose the position that they are running for. If you don't choose wisely, that shit cause pain. Pain to your wallet,
cause pain.
Pain to your environment, pain to your community. It can definitely cause pain because we did not properly prepare before we chose, or lack thereof, choosing the candidate.
So I'm gonna say this. I think, Mac, the point that you made, and this is gonna round us off because this is how we get to where the money resides. I think we definitely need to go from the top of the ballot down.
Okay.
And what we can do to localize it, where you vote, where I vote, and then we get a couple of other brothers to come on, so we can all go through our ballots for our areas.
Yeah.
So the top of the stuff, like everybody gonna be from Mississippi. We can go through the governor. We'll start at the federal level and then go through the governor and all of that and come on down.
But you know what you just said is one of the main things. Also, the Mississippi Move pushes is that you vote where you live, right? So and some of the folks live here. Your license is still registered to your mama's house or auntie house or wherever it may be, but you are less likely to go there on election day. So again, you have a plan. You go to work, and you don't have time to get over there to go vote.
Yep.
And that's another thing. So, but if you vote right here, literally, for me, I vote right down the street. I'm more likely to go vote. If I can't make it on the way to work, I can make it on the way back from work. I'm more likely to go vote. But if I'm still registered, and I just say for us as an example, I live in South Jackson, but I still registered at Tougaloo, and I had no plans on going north or 220. It's going to be a struggle for me to get to Tougaloo.
Especially if you have any sort of responsibility for anybody.
So you're not going to, and then you end up saying, man, I ain't going to make it, right? But if you are registered to vote, that almost in walking distance, then it increases your chances of voting. So if this your residence and where you live at, and you are there 7 months out of the year, then that's your permanent residence, right? And that's where you need to register to vote at. And you need to make sure that you make a vote plan around your schedule. And if you're going to be out of town, you need to vote absentee.
That's right.
That's the plan. But all that, making good choices with your elected officials, having a plan, having confidence over fear, having faith in yourself and your deity will help you get to places that allow you to make a difference. And what's that place, Chuck?
That place, ladies and gentlemen, is where the money resides.
Wait.
Voting database. It is a link where you can get all of the information that you need to know about voting. Make sure you check it out. It is msmove.org/vote. So we'll see y'all right here next week for Nightcap Knowledge, episode 203. We're going to continue this conversation around election season. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all for tuning in each and every Tuesday. Understanding democracy. We'll see y'all again next week. Peace.